Hello again, it is 14 Silver X, and we are going to continue our scrolling shooter. So last time we made our boss, and we gave him a health bar, but not our health bar, and we could shoot him, kill him. It was all great, yes. It was great. So now, we're basically going, we have 4 levels of enemies, and these are basically the basis for all enemies. If you want to make an enemy that moves and shoots at you, all you have to do is like take enemy 4 property and enemy 2 properties or something and mash them together into one new object. I guess I can do that later. But so now we're going to do power-ups. And this makes the hard parts of the game easier by giving you advantages that you can save or use throughout the game. So there's a couple ways you can use power-ups. You can like use money, which we don't have yet, to buy power-ups. We can just find them around the screen randomly, or like they appear. We can pick them up, and then we have them for a certain while. Or like when our score gets high enough, we just get the power-up. So the way I'm going to do it is that these space rocks, for some reason unexplained, they happen to have power-ups inside of them. So I guess, yeah. So I'm going to duplicate my space rock sprite. And our first power-up is going to be, let me think. Our first power-up, I guess the simplest one, is a shield. I'm just going to call it rock power. I'm going to edit the sprite, and I'm going to colorize them. Like, shields are somewhat usually blue, I guess. Actually, no. You can really do whatever you want with them, really, but it'd be easier if you have the Pro Edition. You have this glow option, and what you can do is you can take blue and give it sort of a glow to hint that it has a power-up within it. But I guess some of you do not have the Pro Edition, so we're gonna have to do it a different way. Let's see. We can colorize it to make it a bit blue. So I'm going to just take a color so I can keep one of them. I'm just wasting all this time. Just take this one, colorize the rest bluish, and just fill in the middle. Alright, so now it has sort of like a bluish outline. So obviously there's something in this space rock that we may or may not want. So there's our space rock. Alright. And our space rock will provide us with the power-up. So now we need a new sprite for the power-up that drops out of the space rock. So how about some sort of circle? It's a little blue. It's filled. I'm going to count 1 square, 2 square. Let me zoom in. 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 squares. Diagonal from the top corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make it like that. Then I'll take another darker color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I cannot see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so that's the basis of our shield power-up thingy. I'm just going to do a little animation sequence thingy with it. Alright, so that's our shield bubble power-up. Call it power 1. I'm going to center it. Alright, so now let's make our object. This one will be... Actually, just select OK. So now we have a copy space rock. Give it... Not that sprite. The rock power 1 sprite. Name the object. Name mine rock power 1. So when it gets destroyed, it'll do all this destroying stuff and it'll create the rock explode. But instead of giving us a score, because the rock can still damage us, but instead of a score, we get a power up. So I'm going to delete that. Instead, it's going to create the object that we haven't created yet. So first, go to player 1, duplicate space rock for our rock power 1. And now object 14 will be our power 1. No, power 1. Power up 1. And alright, and that will have the same properties, so if we miss it and it goes outside of the room, oh well. It destroys itself. So in our rock power 1, it will now create our power up 1 relative speed, set it to the room speed going down. So once it gets destroyed, this thing pops out of it and we will be able to pick it up. So now we need to be able to pick it up, and it does something. So what we want to do is first we need a sprite for our shield. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate our spaceship. I'm going to call it shield 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the other ones, and I'm going to resize the canvas from the middle just about 10 pixels. 42. And I'm going to open up my spaceship, and I'm going to draw a shield. It's going to be bluish, and our shield will have a certain health, and I'm going to associate that with its color. So a dark blue shield is basically where you want to be at. So I'm going to quickly, as I can, draw that. And for those who have the Pro Edition, you can just use the glow tool. But I know some of you don't have it, and I don't want you to be left out. Alright, so there's the outline of my shield. Now I'm going to take this occupancy, opacity, oh god, that O thing, whatever, and I'm going to select replace, so I can use it as an eraser. I'm going to take my paint bucket and get rid of all this, that little part right there, my YouTube personal digest, and now we have an outline of our shield. Yay. So I'm going to leave it at that. So now we have our outline. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to take a lighter color of blue. And I'm going to turn that all the way up and use blend. Like that. Copy, paste. That's a bit brighter. Make it brighter. Copy, paste. Etc. 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 So the brighter it is, you know that you're maybe the brighter or the darker. I don't know. It's up to you. Or you can use different colors. Probably I should have done that. Actually, I can do that. Actually, that looks better because it looks like it's fading away. So it is up to you. I'm going to put one more. Because the more, the merrier. But then too much, you might have a problem. Alright, center that. Alright. So, now, what we are going to do is when this collides with player 1, something is going to happen. And what I'm going to do is say in other, meaning player 1, because that's in the collision. I'm going to say variable shield. So I'm going to put 1 relative, and I'm going to show you what I'm going on with that. So shield is equal to 1 relative. Now in player 1, we don't have a value called shield, so we have to make one. And it will start out as 0 because we do not have a shield on yet. So, in the step event, we have so much stuff in here already. And you can use these comment things to do stuff. Like, this is when we die. This is to keep us in the room. It's just easier to sort stuff out. So now, new one for the shield. Alright, so when our shield, if shield is larger than 0, something happens. Well, what could that be? Alright, so now, if you notice, we have a draw the health bar and draw spaceship. So since we have that, this should be pretty simple. So all we have to do is we can actually put this in here. Larger than 0. Alright. Then we go to our draw. We're going to draw shield relative, and the sub image will be equal to shield. Plus 1. And so with doing that, sometimes it flips it on me. So when we first get it, our shield will be 1. So actually, minus 1. Yes. So when we first get our shield will be 1. And if we look at our shield sprite, 1 minus 1 equals 0. So the sub image will be equal to this. And that's the strongest. And we don't want that. Like, if we keep on getting shield power-ups, our HP of our shield will increase. So what we can do is we can reverse the animation so that it goes the other way. So we'll start at the dullest setting, center the sprite again. Aight. So now that's there. We can go back here, and if our shield is larger than 0, we can't be hurt. So, let's see. Because there's nothing saying, so hopefully our sprite won't stay there, and when we pick up the power up, it does stuff. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong that I'm hoping don't go wrong. So also when it collides with our player, our power up thing, we want it to destroy itself. Alright. Now, whenever we get shot or take damage, we just put if shield is equal to 1. Yeah. Alright, so right here, if shield is larger than 0, we are going to do all that. We're going to decrease shield because it has been damaged. And then we put the blocks there. So I'm going to take this and copy it. I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to move everything where they belong. Paste. Paste again. Paste another time. Pasting. We be pasting. And one more paste. Okay. Now, boss. Whenever we collide with the boss, we die. Yes. The shield will not save you from the boss. So, because then you could run into the boss, and depending on how high your shield is, you could just instantly destroy the boss. Which, that is overpowered. So I'm going to leave that as it is. And now we have an enemy creator, so now we're going to open up our enemy creator, and same thing, and instead of starting out with space rocks, I'm going to start out creating rock powers. And let's see if this thing works. So now we have rock power, and I've picked up a shield. And I think, yes, my shield is getting darker. And what we haven't done is if, alright, so now when I get hit, my shield is gone, and I can be damaged, but I don't seem to be colliding with anything for some odd reason. Or maybe we just haven't done that yet. Or have we? Alright, so we know it's working. Just one thing, in the step event for our shield, if shield is larger than, let's see, our maximum sub image, we have 7 sub images, so 6, and then plus 1 is 7. It's larger than 7. The shield will equal 7. There we go. Alright, so that will limit our shield. And for some reason, oh, I see what I did wrong. So this is saying we can only be hurt really if our shield, alright, so here we have to say is not. So if our shield is not larger than 0, yes, we can be damaged. Else, which means our shield is larger than 0, we set our health to -1. This is why computer science class comes in handy. It's all problem solving and if statements. Okay, now it should work. Let's find out. So I'm going to pick up my shields. It's like my lucky day. Shields are just falling from the top of the screen. And I don't think I can get any more shield than what I have. It's just getting so dark I can't see it anymore. And that means our shield is at its maximum when it flashes like that. Alright, so I'll have to change that or make the color a bit brighter. So now when I get hit, I'm starting to take some damage. Bang, bang. Uh-oh, my shield is very low. And we have reached a problem. Alright, now our shield is gone. And now we're taking damage. Now we're not getting shot. Ah, the wonders of game making. So we can be damaged. Oh boy. So there's our boss. Now we're not picking up any more shield. And I'm starting to wonder why. So I'm just going to kill the boss. And let's find out our problem. Alright, so just in case this might be the problem, I'm going to copy, paste. I'm going to do smaller, 0. Our shield is equal to 0, so it doesn't go any lower than it's supposed to. Excuse me. So when we collide, shield is not larger than 0, which means we do not have a shield. And another thing, this also hung around for a while, which is not good. Is there an erase? No, there is not. So let's see if what I did miraculously, I cannot speak today, amazingly fixed our problem. And we are getting hurt, but our shield has not gone away. The drawing is for some reason still there. But we can be damaged, and now our drawing goes away. But when it does that, we are invincible. Except to a select group of enemies. And I will be right back while I find out the problem so as to not waste your time. And hopefully I'm back and I have not paused the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make another sub-image and just make it all invisible. So now there's nothing there. Alright, so now when our shield, so now instead of doing is equal to shield minus 1, it's just going to equal to shield. So once shield is 0, this sprite will be blank, so it will appear that nothing around us is, the shield is not around us, even though it is actually there. So we don't really need that, because we'll always draw that. Wait a second. Oh, sprite. Okay, so that's that. Smaller than 0. So it's fine if it's 0. to do 8. So if it's larger than 0, that's fine. So how about if we do is equal to 0? Yeah. So I'm going to set these all equal to. And hopefully, not smaller than, that will fix my problem. Now I have this song, Everyone Makes Mistakes, in my head. Oh boy, it's definitely not my day. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm just going to boost up on my shield, and it looks like that guy's not going to let me, so I'm going to pick that up, pick another one up. And I got hit by him, and I did lose some shield, and I did lose some more shield. I collided with him, but I can't collide with him. Why not? Instead, it is changing my shield. Why is it changing my shield? And that appears to be with enemy 2. So, why? This is why. I said not. Why is it not here? Alright, so now this should have fixed the problem. So in this entire video, which I think has taken more time than 30 minutes, yes, we'll just leave it at that. It works. Yay. And I showed you all the mistakes I make. Yes, I made mistakes. And now we have a shield. So now, in our enemy creator, we're going to set this back to our space rock. And I guess our space rocks can appear from, or our power-up rocks. Copy, paste. And I'm just going to set this to a very high number. Maybe not that high. 100. And I'll have to play around with that, and we'll make our rock power up. Now another thing to note is whenever our shots collide with our shield, we don't want it to rip through it and for us to take damage. So all you have to do is collide with player 1. Just destroys it. Or, oh boy, here comes the little kids. All you have to do is destroy the instance, put it out of both, so it will be destroyed either way. Like the other object will be destroyed either way, yes. So all you have to do, take those recycle bins, move them out. Thank you for watching and being patient. Next we'll add more power-ups, and now this time I know what I did wrong, so I'll be able to do stuff right more often. Don't forget to save your game, subscribe, have a nice day.